Hey there, let's do some math. If you didn't know, I am currently in the hospital getting surgery on my shoulder. How am I here? Because I recorded this. Surprised you didn't know that. Okay, today we're going to review simplifying fractions. What we do when we simplify fractions is we put it into its lowest terms. So if there's a number that can be divided into the numerator and the denominator, it has to go into the top and the bottom, we need to divide it by that number. That makes our fraction smaller, it makes it more reasonable, it makes it easier to understand, and it's also a rule of math. You're gonna have to do this every single year you take math. So we have to go over this again. Now let's look at this. Say we have the problem, 8/12, right? We need to simplify this. We need to put it into its lowest terms. Well, it's even, right? The numerator is even and the denominator is even. So if you can't figure out any factors, you can always divide it by 2. So let's divide it by 2. We need to do the same thing to the top that we do to the bottom. So now we're going to do 8 divided by 2 is 4. 12 divided by 2 is 6. That's it, we're done, right? Not so fast. We need to check our answer. Is there anything that can divide into 4 and 6? Has to be the same number. Well, 2 can go into it again, right? Because they're both even. So let's divide them by 2. Do the same thing at the top that we do to the bottom. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now, is there a number that we can divide 2 and 3 by? The same number? I don't think so. So this is our answer. If you give this answer, you're correct. If you give this answer, 4, 6, still wrong. If you give 8/12, you're obviously wrong because you didn't simplify it at all. That's what you're asked to do. So remember, this is correct, this is incorrect, this is incorrect. We need it in its lowest terms. We need to simplify as far as we can. Now, there's a faster way to do this. This took me 2 steps. The more steps I do, the more mistakes I can make in dividing. And it takes a little bit longer, right? So if we had our 8/12, the fastest and easiest way to do this is to find the factors of each number. Find the factors of the numerator, find the factors of the denominator. Remember, factors are numbers that divide into a number. So we need to find all the numbers that can divide into 8. Well, we start with the number 8 and 1, because 1 goes into everything and the number will go into itself. So let's list 8. We have 1 and 8. Let's try our next number. Does 2 go into 8? Sure does. 4 times, because 2 times 4 is 8. Does 3 go into 8? No. Does 4 go into 8? We've already done that, so we're done. We found the factors of 8. Factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. Now we need to find the factors of our denominator, 12. So we always start with the number and 1. So the factors are 1 and 12. And you really need to space them out like this so you can add in more numbers. It makes it easier when you're trying to find the greatest common factor, which we're about to get to. So does 2 go into 12? It goes in 6 times. Does 3 go into 12? Sure does, 4 times. Does 5 go into 12? No, and we've already done our factors after 6, so we're done. We've found the factors of 8, and we found the factors of 12. So we want to compare these factors. We want to know which factors these 2 numbers have in common. That's numbers that we can simplify our fraction with. So let's see, 2, there's a 2. Here's a 2. This has a 4, is there a 4 over here? Yep. 8, is there an 8 over here? No. So we found our common factors. What's our greatest common factor? What's the biggest number these 2 have in common? 4 and 4, right? So now that we have our greatest common factor, we can divide our fraction that we are simplifying by our greatest common factor. So we need to divide the top and the bottom by the number. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Did we get the same answer? I think so. Can we simplify this any further? Is there any number that goes into both of these? No, there's not. You might think this takes longer because we have to find the factors. It takes a tiny bit more time than just dividing by random numbers, but we know for sure that we're finding the biggest one. So let's look at this number. Let's do 18/24. We need to simplify 18/24. We know 2 goes into it, but if we use 2, I'm telling you right now, we're going to have to do it again. So let's find the factors of 18 and 24. What are the factors of 18? Well, let's start with 1 and the number. Does 2 go into 18? It does, 9 times. Why? Because 2 times 9 is 18. Okay, does 3 go into 18? I think it does, 6 times. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Does 4 go into 18? It doesn't, and now we've gotten to 6, so we can stop. So we found our factors of 18. Let's find our factors of 24. Oh, we start with 1 and the number. Does 2 go into 24? It's even, so it's going to go in. How many times? 12. Does 3 go into 24? I think so. Doesn't it? Isn't 24 divided by 3? 8. Does 4 go into 24? I think so, 6 times. And one number left, 7. Does 7 go into 24? No. Good thing, too, because I was about to run out of room. So we found our factors of 18. We found our factors of 24. Now we need to find the common factors. 2. There's a 2 here. Let's go to 3. Is there a 3 over here? Yes, there is. 6. Is there a 6 over here? Yes, there is. 9. Is there a 9 over here? No. 18. Is there an 18 over here? No. So we found our common factors. Now, which number is bigger? What's the biggest number we have circled? 6. So with our greatest common factor, we can divide the numerator and the denominator by 6. Remember, we have to do the same thing at the top that we do to the bottom. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Now let's check our answer. Can we divide the same number into the numerator and the denominator? I don't think so. So we are done. This is our answer. This is correct. Let's do another one. Let's do 40/60. I don't want to find the factors on this. I know them off the top of my head, right? The biggest number that's going to go into here is 10. It's easy. I'm going to divide it by 10 because this is how smart I am. I'm going to divide the top by 10, and I'm going to divide the bottom by 10. 40 divided by 10, 4. 60 divided by 10, 6. Easy. We don't always have to find the factors. Is this correct, though? I don't know. I didn't check. I was positive 10 is a big number, and it easily goes into these, so that's what I should divide by. However, it wasn't the biggest number. Is there something that I can divide both of these by again? Are they both even? They are, so we know 2 will go into it. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now are we done? Yes, because no number will divide it into both of these. Why did I mess up? Well, I didn't list out my factors. I was positive 10 would work. It did work. I eventually got to the right answer, but that's only because I checked the answer that I got. If I would have listed out my factors, I would have found that 20 is the greatest common factor between 40 and 60. That would have saved me a step, but did I eventually get the right answer? Yes, I did. Now, times when you don't have to find the greatest common factor. I'll give you one because I'll be honest, sometimes it is a pain in the butt to find the greatest common factor. A lot of times it helps. And when we start to get into much bigger numbers, 3-digit numbers, it'll be very helpful. But look at this, 3, 6. I know what divides into both of those, right? How about 3? 3 divided by 3, 1. 6 divided by 3, 2. Does that make sense? Think we're clear on this? Hope so. Because that's what we're doing for the rest of the assignment. Again, it's just review. This is stuff that we have been doing already. It's stuff we need to get down for the rest of the year and for the rest of your years in math. So remember, find the greatest common factor, divide the top and the bottom by that, the numerator and the denominator, and check your answer when you're done. Make sure you can't divide it further, because sometimes even if we find the greatest common factor, we miss a factor. It's possible. You don't think 3 divides into 18. I make those mistakes. You are going to make those mistakes. So try and take your time. Don't rush through it, and always check your answer at the end. There you go. Get to work.